Hi, welcome to Crabs, Goats and Goats. My name's Anthony Wilson. Today I'm looking at the new moon in Taurus, Tuesday the 11th of May. Also looking at Jupiter moving from Aquarius into Pisces for a couple of months. We've been waiting for this one. Let's just have a look at it, see what it might bring. But first of all, here's the chart for the new moon in Taurus. This is a very positive new moon. New moons are often positive, and this one is not really being undermined by any difficult aspects. It is wide to a square with Saturn, but much less Saturnian tension than has been the case so far this year. So Taurus is a sign that builds, it's a sign that establishes a solid foundation, and that's what to bear in mind at this new moon. Look at the house in your chart where this degree of Taurus is, 21 Taurus, and think about how you can make your foundations more secure in that area of your life in a way that can give you more security and make you feel more solid. For the charts that have more earth and water, these people are more concerned with feeling safe and feeling emotionally connected if you're a water sign, but also practically engaged if you're an earth sign. And this new moon is fantastic in the sense of getting you into the moment. So this is when you need to be focused into what you're doing, really in the sense of involved and consistent and repetitively doing what you need to do in that area. So it's like it's good for ideas in the sense of it's good for making a purchase, or it's good for bringing you some security in other ways. So Mercury and Venus are in Gemini also at this new moon. Mercury is contacting Saturn by trine. Ideas are very solid right now. I'm very good for something concrete, which means something. There needs to be something meaningful right now. It's not about shallow gestures. So Taurus is all about that. It's all about making something substantial. If you look at the house in your chart, as I said, where Taurus occupies, and make some sort of resolution in that area. So if you have Scorpio rising, it would be in the 7th house of relationships. If you have Cancer rising, it would be in friends and family, friends and group involvements. And if you have Aquarius rising, it would be and home and family, etc. So just have a look at the house in your chart where this will offer you an opportunity to build, another Taurus keyword, planning the base for a stronger future. Okay, it's also contacting Neptune here by sextile. That's a very sweet sextile to Neptune. There's something where you can do someone a favor as well as yourself, like do everybody a favor as well as yourself, and go a bit deeper and more imaginative. I really like this new moon in the spiritual sense. It has a lot to offer us if we want to go inside ourselves and think about what we really want inside. So if you're involved in any kind of spiritual practice, this really is a fantastic new moon to establish something that will give that more meaning and more depth. So that is the new moon, but also later this week on Thursday evening here in Barcelona, late Thursday night, you can tell I've been looking forward to it. Jupiter enters Pisces from Aquarius. So if we move the chart on a couple of days, 1, 2, so Thursday, that's 8 o'clock in the evening. So if we go forward a couple of hours, And there we can see Jupiter going into Pisces by the end of Thursday. Now, what will this mean? Well, the first thing is, why has everyone been looking forward to this? Right, because Jupiter's been in Saturn-ruled signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, for the last couple of years, but Saturn has also been in those signs, running concurrently with Jupiter for a lot of that time, which meant that Jupiter couldn't really do its thing, and it couldn't really offer much in those signs because Saturn was ruling at that time, those transits. And Jupiter into Pisces is the opposite. Jupiter's going into its own sign. It rules Sagittarius, and traditionally it rules Pisces as well. And Jupiter in Pisces is like optimistic, buoyant, kind of hope, which brings optimism, which brings things to fruition. So it's a lovely transit to happen right now, given the difficulties of the last couple of years worldwide, and we'll see what it brings. But it's only going into Pisces until mid-July, and then it comes back retrograde into Aquarius. It's already quite slow. It's already slowing down, and if you have much in your chart to do with water, especially, this will offer you tremendous relief from some of the tension that's been around. So, for example, if you're a Sun Cancer or Cancer rising, this can help an awful lot because, you know, Pluto and Saturn were in Capricorn last year. Cancers have had a lot to put up with. Jupiter's coming in there to release. For Scorpio risings, ascendant Scorpio, Jupiter moving into your 5th house is opening up all the creativity that maybe has been difficult to get going. For the Earth signs too, if you have Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo rising, for example, Virgo, very good for relationships. Look at where Jupiter is in your chart, where it's going to look at where Pisces is in your chart. Look at what Jupiter can open up for you, and have a look at the next couple of months, because that will be a key to what will happen next year in terms of growth. So the next couple of months are like a run where you can see where there is growth, because what happens next year will offer more in that area. So just have a look at the chart in the house in your chart where it is. So if it's in your 3rd house, it's communication. If it's in your 4th house, family and roots. If it's in your 9th house, education or travel. So maybe there'll be clues coming up now to see what it can bring. Worldwide, it could help with the pandemic situation. It's believed, although of course Jupiter will go back into Aquarius after July, August, so we may not be finished with that, but it's impossible to know from the astrology what COVID will do. We did see it come up originally with the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and that was very much an astrological correlation. Since then, it's been a little bit more difficult to predict how it will pan out astrologically, but this Jupiter in Pisces period, this 3-month period, 2.5, does seem to offer more hope in that sense, but we will see. So is there any downside to this? Well, perhaps. So Jupiter and Saturn have both been in Aquarius this year, which means that whatever house you have Aquarius in, that house has been had the restrictions of Saturn, but it's also had the alleviating influence of Jupiter there. So for example, if Saturn's been in your 2nd house, then you may have been restricted more with money and spending, but Jupiter's also been there, so maybe earnings have also been a bit easier to come by. Well, Jupiter's not there now, so whatever house you have Aquarius in, you may need to pay attention also in the next couple of months what's happening there, because next year Saturn will be running without Jupiter in that house, as it is for the next 2 months. So just have a look at how that works also in the next couple of months in the house where Saturn occupies. Are things a bit tighter in that area? Yeah. For example, if Saturn's if you have Aquarius on the 7th house cusp, Saturn there has meant that relationships have been a bit more difficult to be open about, a bit more difficult to attract people into your life. But Jupiter has also helped bring other kind of practical influences with Saturn. So now Jupiter's leaving Aquarius. So think also just have a look at that as well. But overall, I think the amount of positivity this can bring to people who've really had to knuckle down with Saturn in Capricorn and then Aquarius, and really work on their lives and make them more solid and deal with restrictions, deal with hardship. If you've done a good job with that, this is all about the planets offer you rewards to these times. So Jupiter in Pisces can offer some reward to people that have been through this, really taking this time seriously and knuckling down in a sense. So that is the good news astrologically this week. And let's see how it works. Let's see how it works on a world level. See how it works for you. Give me any feedback in the comments that you want to on this, and maybe you'll experience some benefit yourself. But okay, so thanks very much for joining me. Next time, I'm coming into Gemini season after this, and I'm particularly want to look at some musical figures with Sun in Gemini next time. It's a bit of a more a music edition. I'm trying to plan that. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see. But thanks very much for joining me today. Have a great week. Hold your head up. Look up to the future, and I'm sure things can get better. Okay, take care. Bye bye.